think you ever fully recovered from your first heartbreak. So I just learned to deal with it.
Yeah, love hurts, especially when the person that you love doesn't want to put you first. If I could go reverse, I would pay attention to your actions and would never pay attention to your words. Bet you was a curse. Trick me into thinking that you love me, then you cut me. Now I'm bleeding on his verse. I need to go to church. I'm having conversations with the devil and I'm asking what his life really worth. Stacks, you fucked up my head. It was crazy as I tried to do it all again. At night I sit on my bed, start praying while I'm looking up at God, and I ask him when the hell is this pain gon' end. He asked that bitch stress. I remember the text, remember the love, phone calls, I remember the sex. I'm so haunted by the day that you left. I wasn't good enough, but fuck it, I still gave you my best. And I'm sad. Fuck, and I don't know what to do. 7 billion, but not one like you. Ain't it crazy how we built for 2 years, but it took 10 seconds in the bad decision just to break the whole thing. I can't sleep, I can't eat, my heart's getting beat. Social media don't help, I think I'm weak. I've been screaming that I'm covered, they just watch me bleed. I can't love another woman, cause the cycle repeats. No. So I just write these songs, yeah they help, but they don't right wrongs. My life is a museum, everybody shows up and buys tickets, but they never want to stay that long. Man, I can't move on, head spinning like a CD-ROM. The only woman I can trust is my mom. And don't you fucking try to say you can relate unless you listen to these lyrics and cry while you sing it along. Fuck, love hurts in the worst way. Worse, imagine catching someone cheating on you first day, and then they cry and say they love you while they sitting on his bed. Why the fuck you do it in the first place? Did you know you hurt me? I was just another option on your survey. I could get revenge, but God wouldn't help my spirit, so I had to make these songs and let these motherfucking words play. Fuck, now I'm doing too much. I'm supposed to be a man, so I'm supposed to act up. I put all my fucking eggs in one basket. You were my plan A. I didn't ever even think to have a backup. Now I'm stuck. I need a break, but I'm winning again. It's all or nothing. We can't just be friends. First loves are the worst. Love hurts, and I'm stuck inside a cycle that's gonna end up with you cheating again. Love hurts, especially when the person that you love doesn't want to put you first. If I could go reverse, I would pay attention to your actions and would never pay attention to your words. Bet you was a curse. Trick me into thinking that you love me, then you cut me. Now I'm bleeding on this verse. I can't even go to church. I'm having conversations with the devil and I'm asking what his life really worth. Stacks. First love will fuck you up. Conspiracy, one for the abandoned, something close to me, so now I realize color of our skin should separate us all instead of bring us closer. Fix racism, classism, fascism, sexism, anyism, and even exist. Because to separate one in a world full of people where we all created equal will never be it. I bet he wouldn't sleep. If that's the only time he's chasing his dreams, I bet he'd shoot every shot that he had and not pass with the knowledge that the devil's playing on his team. I wonder if God cries. Maybe his pain is the rain. Maybe the storm that we face needs God is a shame of the creatures that he.
Show for me if they wasn't born. Coach, why'd you call it? Coach found the picture. Coach, they want a picture. Yeah, like, you know, it also shows how old we are. Because you're not there, but that's the whole position. You should sleep in it. Hey, my cigar is getting better.
Welcome to Balyahan with GB and RDO. Kwentuhan, asaran at opinyon na may bangka. Kasama sina GB Labrador at Presidente Ocampo. Powered by Sports Plus. Easy lang!
Masaya po kayo na.
Yeah, super.
Nakita mo yung Lopez brother.
Yeah.
Yes. But ito, sa lahat ng mga listeners, you know, excited din tayo lahat to have this
Bumalik.
player to come back home. Unahin muna natin ang mga achievements niya sa PBA. I know, parang ano siya, parang
Marami yan.
we will do the boasting for you because we're proud of all of your achievements. Una, 6-time PBA champion, 2-time PBA finals MVP, PBA most valuable player 2011, PBA best player of the conference 2011, 11-time PBA All-Star PBA, All-Star Game MVP, 3-time PBA first team, PBA Rookie of the Year, PBA Order of Merit, 2-time PBA 3-point shootout champion, 50 best players in PBA history, jersey number 3, third PBA, the new head coach. And next, sa PBA,
Assistant dito.
ako, assistant, player development coach for Sacramento. NBA sa NBA. Daming teams na lumabas dito na siya na yung bagong head coach ng Golden State Warriors. Naniwala ako kung sino ay.
Kasi tayo maniniwala.
Sa naniwala ko si finally. Pero isa sa mga proud sa atin.
Lalo na sa
Paiyak sa atin sa Gilas. Big shot 3 talagang narinig ng buong Pilipinas yung sigaw. Ewan ko kung narinig ko sa buong yan for sure. But everyone was shouting and crying. Wala iba. Ako niya.
Mighty Mouse.
Mighty Mouse Coach. At ang mahal.
Thank you. Welcome back, Coach.
Thank you guys.
Welcome to Balyahan.
Thank you. It's good. Kamusta? How are you coming back home? Meron ba unang ginawa mo when you kumain ka magsisig?
Fried chicken.
Saya, kasi coming back to family, not just some, all four of my kids kasi Nicholas came in 2020 when he had 3 was in second so it's great to be here.
Kasi kanina when off ka, naiya si Jimmy kasi he'd be wearing his eyeglasses.
Videoing ka.
Yung eyeglasses mo when you started working sa Sacramento.
So funny story. 2 years now, we were usually in the NBA for a road trip. Without the shoot game, right? Players would have the media, change clothes, do whatever, and then usually at just airport, and then fly. I got to whatever city. So when you cross the airplane, usually well, on the computer, and then you try to do some work. So the next game was probably the next day or two. So I think we were, I want to say maybe Brooklyn or New York or somewhere. So we after the game, that I was at the airport. So I get on the plane, was to see them. But when we got your computer, I couldn't see anything. So blurry that I said, I'll go down. So close the computer, go to sleep, and then next morning I said, I still have work to do. So open the computer again. So I'm blurry. You experience? Oh no. So after a few days, when I commenced to Sacramento, where you team doctors, there's something wrong because I can't see the computer. I can't do my work. And then sure enough, went to visit the doctor. And so I'm like, oh, coach, how old are you now? 46. And she just, the look on her face was, sorry, coach, I think you need reading glasses now. So after that,
The reading glasses because of the work that you're doing for Sacramento.
yes, kasi grabe yung video work when you're a player development coach. Kasi you're normally required to watch minimum 5 a night. So I think the eyesight begins to weaken a little bit. So
So you get paid doing that. Some people, they just play mobile games.
yes, that's true. That's true.
They go blind for nothing.
That's true.
Well, how did you end up in Sacramento as a development coach?
So 2020, during the pandemic, obviously I was coaching the second team. The season was cut short. I think that was probably April, late March, early April. So they shut down that. Yeah, they locked down everything. And so I think I'm in for probably a few months, and then I think in July we decided it was primarily for two reasons. One, just to be close to the family, to be closer to my parents. I said there was a lot of health stuff going on. Number two, Pita sa Filipinos, as in there was no sports at any level, elementary, high school, college, pro, and so the Isip goes, this might be the best time for me to not only be closer to family, but also try to see if I can get to the NBA. Because in that was 2020. In 2018, I spent summer with the Kings as like a guest coach. Kasi yung kaibigan ko si Vlade Divac, I called him, not called him, I texted him and said, after second year of ABL, I'll look against the 70s. And so I reached out to him and asked him, was there any opportunity with the Kings, training camp, summer league, just to grow as a coach? And I wasn't expecting a reply, but after an hour, hey Jimmy, great to hear you're coaching. Gusto mo, why don't you come to Sacramento and spend the summer with us? So
Si Vlad yan. Si Vlad sabi niya, gusto mo.
yeah, of course. Yes.
In English. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that was 2018. I spent the summer in Sacramento. So then during my time there, I was with Coach Bobby Jackson, and we became really close during my time there. So paglipat kami sa Southern California at the end of 2020. I texted him and said, hey coach, I'm here in the States. Family and I moved back. And he said, well, I'm going to be the head coach for our G League team. If you want, I'd love to have you here in Sacramento as my lead assistant. So doing yung parang, getting my foot in the door. And so of course, he said that I couldn't play less than and so June of 2021, I went ahead to Sacramento because I was getting ready for summer. The family followed early July. And did summer league that summer. I was officially hired for the G League team in Stockton for 2 years. And then after that, Washington Coach Brown was the Sacramento as the head coach. And that was the blessing because after my second year as a G League, people had seen Coach Jackson in South Philadelphia join Nick Nurse. So at that time, I wasn't sure what the next move was going to be because the head coach, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to stay in the G League for the third year. I was hopeful that I would get an opportunity. I said, Washington Coach Brown, and after a few weeks, he said, it was a blessing for sure. This is everybody, but in 2020 there was no guarantee. Great about it. I always hope that I might get an opportunity after 2 years. And that's
Viewers, you don't know how much. I know you know how much Filipino fans of the game is so proud to see you there in the Sacramento Kings. And I don't know kung tama yung research. I did a bit of research on your first year. Tumas yung standing ng Sacramento.
Yes,
You guys really did well.
Oh, it was amazing. Kasi yung fan base of Sacramento is like the fan base of Gilas or the fan base of everyone. As in like sobrang ganda, sobrang just die hard, for the team. Kasi walang sports team, walang pro sports teams in Sacramento except the Kings.
Okay.
Except yung last 2 years, yung Oakland A's, pero it's just temporary lang kasi lipat sila sa Las Vegas. So it's really only the Sacramento Kings. And I mean, kahit, that year when we made the playoffs, I remember one of my best memories from Sacramento. So game 1, first playoff appearance for Sacramento in close to 20 years. God, the crowd there. There's only been one other moment or experience that I've had witnessing something like that, our game against Korea. Like as a coach in the NBA, but enters arena, to the rafters, all dressed in white, like Malaysia back in 2013, and like
Same energy.
you could just feel like the city had been waiting so long, and then we beat Golden State game 1. So after the game, Coach Brown spoke to the team, and great first win. It's a great way to start the series. Now we have to get ready for game 2. After the game, usually, like everyone goes home, right? And then you rest and come back. Something he Coach Brown, coaches to my office. So there was a big office in the building. He said the practice facility and the coaches' offices. On the bus elevator, diretso na, then the arena's there. So it's next door. So lahat yung coaching staff, we go to Coach Brown's office. He said, I want to watch the game. The game that we just played, that we just finished. He said, no, let's watch it as a staff. And doon kami sa office ni Coach Brown till 2 a.m. If you open sa tingin sa window, at least 10,000 people outside. Oh, Kings, game 1 lang. And it was such a cool moment because you could feel the city had waited so long for the playoffs. And it's simple, Golden State. Rivalry because they're only 2 hours from Sacramento. So being able to witness that, I said, oh my God, I said, if they only knew this is like Malaysia 2013 against Korea. So that was a special moment.
And now I know, like because of Gilas, because of Filipinos being basketball fans, when you're there in Sacramento, I'm sure there are a lot of Filipino fans that will have a photo with you. Does not make the players like, is he a coach? Are they like questioning how come this guy is so popular than me? Right?
Yeah, it's like celebrity.
Yeah, you're like a celebrity there.
It's funny. Like my first year with the Sacramento, simply I don't look the part, right? Especially the States. I'm the only Filipino aside from Coach Spo. Everybody's Coach Spo, right? So it takes time. It takes time. You meet about players, and vice versa. And so you spend time with them, you build a relationship with them, and they'll say, "Well, hey, Coach, where'd you play?" I'm like, once upon a time, I played in the Philippines. Oh, you played in the Philippines? Oh, how'd you do there? Did okay. We did good. And then it's social media, right? So then some of them start, I think, just out of curiosity, like, who's this coach? On our staff. Then they do the research and they're like, they'll come back on the next day like, hey, Coach, you said you just played the Philippines. We saw some highlights, whatever. And so, it was kind of funny banter with the players, but without me having to tell them that I played and had success when I played here, PBA and US, allowing them to find out, but their respect for me changed because I never played in the NBA, and so when I would talk to the players, it always came from a perspective of, listen, I didn't play in the NBA, but I'm here to help. So, guys, whatever we watch on video, maybe from some of my own personal experience, whatever I can do to help you as a player so that you have success, even at the NBA level, then that's why I'm here. And so I think establishing yung respect.
From many achievements that you have also.
And so, but of course, again, I think in that way, social media can help this thing because now they're on my social media, they're on my Instagram, like, oh, Coach, back in the day, you used to dunk. I'm like, maybe you fix your So again, it's cool when they're the ones to kind of, I guess, do their homework, and I'm not going there like, hey, I played religion. But yeah, it was amazing experience for sure.
Because for sure, when when you're out with the players, people will ask photos from you,
Yes.
and they accept the players, right? You're
So,
like-
so yeah, that first season, we'd be at the airport, or not the airport, but like at shoot around.
Yeah.
So the games at 7 p.m. Usually, player development coaches were on the court early 4 p.m.
Early, yeah.
And so you have mga fans who show up early and they watch the warm up. Simply, Filipinos there. They're like, Coach, why'd you call me? I'm like, I don't know. Coach, we have the picture. And they're like, Coach, they want a picture with you. I'm like, they're just Filipino fans. Don't mind them. But the support, it meant a lot.
Yeah.
So, I know the challenges that the family that I went through transitioning back from being here and then going back to the U.S. And, especially for USL with CLJ, going from having so much help here and then being now you don't have 3 kids, we end up having 4, and she carries a lot of the responsibility of traveling. So when you feel the love and support from work out with lives, it's special.
Can you also describe the kind of work you do, like how heavy the work is? The reason why you ended up with this is the many videos that you do as when you scout, right?
Yes.
How many clips do you need? Videos.
So if you're doing a scout, so if you're a player development coach, you're assigned a certain number of scouts during the season. It's up 20, 30, depending. So for example, the Lakers. So if Sacramento's playing the Lakers, it's my scout. So you're in charge of writing out or typing out the report. You have to send it to the rest of the staff, the players. Then yung style ni Coach Brown is for each game we have 3 offensive keys. Now, what can we do on offense against the Laker defense? And then defensively, what are our 3 keys to stop the Lakers with typically LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves? So as you're doing the report, you have to watch a minimum of 5 games. So your last 5 games, the Lakers had whatever opponent, you have to watch the game. You're watching offense, you're watching the defense. So as you're watching and you see parang, it's LeBron, Major Bagal, it's a transition defense. Okay, well, you make note of that. Okay, well, let's make sure we're pushing the ball. See Luka, parang, that's what he says the defense. So, okay, well, ball reversal, whatever. So as you're writing down the notes, as you're watching the game, you have to clip that particular play to show, I can see Luka on defense. Oh, see LeBron. Sempre always complaining to the referee. Okay, so you make all those clips, but it's for 5 games. Right? And each game, 48 minutes, so stop. Okay, clip, change it, next, and watch the game. By the time you finish, you probably have 120 total clips in this tawag dyan is yung sorter.
Yeah.
After you have the 120 clips, you have to pick. So you send that to the coaches, and then they'll say, "Okay, Jimmy, looks good. Pick your best 5 that you'll show to the team." So then you pick your 5, and then usually the morning of your game, shoot around that's when you'll present.
Yeah.
And grabe, with Coach Brown, you better be ready. Yeah, you better be ready. Yung details, walang spelling errors, sa notes on the video. So he wants everything clean and everything sharp. You don't want to be in front of the team and it's like, oh, okay, so this first play, LeBron, got it shot. Kasi you're not prepared.
Yeah.
And tawag yung play on a 2. He'll be sitting there just like, because his style is an attention to detail, and whatever message or game plan we're giving to the players, kailangan clear, simple, and so that when they go on the court, there's no confusion, or the game plan is clear. So a lot of work, but at the same time, you're in the NBA, and every day I go into work, see Russ Westbrook, hey Russ, hey Jimmy, or Mark DeRozan, and it's the games. Some of you kids not in, so if we're warming up before the game, I'm sure you guys see pictures. My 8-year-old, my oldest, they're just sitting there. It's not on their phone, but they're able to share in that experience.
Talo ka man ngayon, huwag kang susuko. Kasi sa basketball, lagi kang pwedeng bumawi. Marami ang hindi sasangayon. Dahil sa podcast na to, ipapaliwanag namin kung bakit tama kami at bakit kailangan mong marinig ito. Ang MPBL, hindi lang naruto. Drama, diskarte, at mga tanong na bibigyan kasagutan. Latest updates, mainit na balita, hot takes sa mga issue on and off the court. Dito lang yan sa Rebanse. Kung may issue, may sagot. Kung may talo, may Rebanse. Powered by Sports Plus.
Special guest.
Special guest.
Bicho Gilas.
Okay. Expand.
How old? 3? He's going to school, man. Not yet.
What's up? It's funny that you were just talking about the family being there in the core.
Yeah, that to me was part of the experience being so special because I'm doing what I love. Like, I mean, basketball has been a part of my life for so long, and to be able to be in the NBA, and then my kids are able to share that experience with me. Like some of the perks of being in the NBA, you know, when the family goes there, laging pagkain, it's free.
Yeah.
So for my kids, they said they're all smaller, so they get their popcorn and their cookie, and they're like, "Oh, Dad, you know, this is so cool." And then after the game, you know, we see all the players. So that was one of the coolest parts about being in the NBA. Said, you know, for the last 3-4 years, they were able to experience it. My daughter, that's Steph Curry, my 8-year-old basketball player, he watched Steph Curry work out. So, you know, those moments make it worth it.
Yeah. Was it hard for you to decide to come back home and give up that NBA coaching?
You know what's funny? When I spoke to my wife LJ about it, spoke to my parents, and told them, you know, hey, I'm still talking to NBA teams, but there might be an opportunity back home. And so I wasn't sure at the time because I was still talking to some other teams and exploring another player development. The only problem was, you know, talking to the family. You know, I was thinking, do I want to uproot the family and move to another state? You know, it's gonna be another challenge for the kids because I think it would be different if when kids now were older. Like my oldest is 13, Woods now is only 3. So it's a delicate time, I think. And I said, you know, do I want to uproot the family and move to another city? And this past season in particular was the first time in the almost 6 years that I was in the NBA when I would leave for a road trip. Usually it's 5 days, it's on 10 days. This past season we had 3 road trips, 12 days, 14. And so when I would leave, my 8-year-old, I mean, like super sad. And you know, as I'm still a dad first, and you know, it makes you think that what am I willing to do for my job if it's going to be risking a connection and my family time. So that became a big part of the discussion. And then when I told her that there was an opportunity, later there's an opportunity, she was ready. She was already back. Yeah, she was. I'll tell you guys a funny story. She's gonna laugh when she sees this. So I got like the initial contract from here, and so I called her. I said, hey, you know, I got an email. You know, come upstairs so you can look at it. And LJ has sacrificed a lot with me being in the NBA because, again, when I travel, she bears the responsibility of raising the kids, taking them to school, to practice, basketball, skateboard, gymnastics, dance, a lot. So when I told her, hey, you know, there might be an opportunity, like, her eyes, she started like floating across the room. And so when we got the initial, you know, offer, you know, I said, you know, come upstairs. And she said, what is this? I said, go read it. I said, listen, it's just the first one. Still have some things to fix. Yeah. She's like, well, are you gonna sign it? I'm like, no, not yet. You know, and so I said, you know, we'll talk about it. Yeah. And so Alicia said, was the question of it, and she's walking down the hallway. You guys know that song? I'm coming home. And I said, what are you doing? She's like, oh, nothing. So, you know, when we talked about it, you know, that became a big part of the decision. Because knowing the opportunity to come back home, if I'm coaching here, whether I'm here with you guys or if I'm traveling with the team, then just come with me, right? In the NBA, I can't go to the team play and say, hey, can I bring my kids? You know, and so that was a big part of it. And then also from the basketball perspective, I know what I've experienced, right? From going times to G League, unfortunately the last 4 years since I was in the NBA. Love it. Just the whole experience to see the daily experience, the players, the coaches, the detail and everything, on like every minute detail, from the guide to the recovery to the practice to the medical. Like it is so detailed. Like I said, every NBA team is looking for an edge. Who has the best recovery? Who eats the best food? They said, you have guys who are making, the type of money that you just don't see every day. And so to be around that, was an amazing experience. And knowing what I saw, what I learned, to be able to pour that back into Philippine basketball, not on yung feeling close now. It's my opportunity to pay it forward, if that makes sense. Because I know how lucky I was. I played for almost 14 years. Kasama si Del Gilas for almost 10 years. And just thinking about all those memories and how much those memories and those experiences impacted my life, it just felt like it was the right time. And so here we are.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. That's one of the perks here. Now working in the Philippines, you can bring. Enjoy the perks. But yes, like what you said, you are now really valuable for the local game because of the American experience and everything you're able to share here. We have a lot of OFWs, and that's what actually OFW does, is that they work there, they gather all of the experiences, and then they come back home, they share the experience. So you are our first OFW PBA player. Now you'll be sharing a lot of things to us, and will improve the game dramatically because of all these things that you've learned in the NBA.
And the last few weeks, right? So there were a handful of NBA teams, probably 7 or 8 that I was talking to. But then at the last minute, there were a couple of teams in Japan who were asking, Coach, would you be interested to come and coach as an assistant in the B League? And so, I was actually in Los Angeles. We drove the week prior of flying here. I went to Los Angeles to go see my dad to celebrate Father's Day. So, we had lunch there, and I'm talking to the family, and I said, they're exploring the NBA. There might be an opportunity back home in the Philippines, but then Japan's calling, and there might be an opportunity as an assistant coach there. And it was so funny. My mom and dad, and even LJ, were saying like, why are you going to go to Japan and show them everything you've learned when you can go back home? And I was like, that's a good point. I don't. And again, this isn't anything against Japan basketball, but like we competed against Japan for so many years, on the national team. And so again, that was just we talked about it, we prayed about it, and